Welcome everybody to the Onward VR Master League. My name is NightFiree with 2 E's. I am joined by my co-caster Wookie with just 1. How are you today, Wookie?
I'm doing great. How are you doing today?
I am in a very good mood because we have a very exciting series ahead of us today. G-Men versus BossFight, 2 top-ranked teams in the VRML going at it cross-region, and it's something we don't get to see very often, right? It's only during this Button Cup that we get to see this sort of cross-region play.
Yeah, these Button Cups are cool because we kind of get a little bit of more action going on between, 2 teams across the pond, and it's always an exciting event.
Yeah, it really is, and you get the hype from players too. You know, they like to buy into the NA versus EU constant discussion that goes on in the VRML, and this is kind of our way of putting that to the test, right? You get to see who comes out on top in the NA or EU side of things, and this is a great gauge of maybe what we'll see later down the line. I mean, really just weeks from now, potentially, Wookie, because the finals are coming around the corner.
Absolutely, they are rapidly approaching real quick, and of course, the EU teams do face off against the North American teams. No more Button Cup. Button Cup is just kind of like a special thing that happens mid-season, although it's been a bit of a rocky season overall, so things have been... Usually the Button Cup, I don't think is this close to finals, but yes, it is going to be a great indicator of how EU is going to handle the NA teams and vice versa coming up for the finals.
Yeah, and I mean, G-Men coming off of a hard loss against your team, I believe it was just the other day, and they have dipped down now in rank, and we're seeing a shift in that top 5 now. You know, Global Chem
Indeed.
Are inactive. They're starting to finally receive that MMR attrition, and they're going down in rank, and you're that spot's getting filled. I mean, Mayhem's in 2nd place now, and G-Men's been bumped down to 3rd, so this game really does matter quite a bit for him.
It does. And the Button Cup isn't just for funsies. This is actual ranked gameplay that we're about to see. So whoever wins or loses, that will be affected on the standing. And if you're not in that top 7 when it comes time for finals, you got to do the round robin process to get qualified. So there's a lot on the line in this Button Cup, actually.
Yeah, and especially now with so many teams, that round robin is just going to be such a slog, and so you really don't want to get put down into that to have to compete for that 7th and 8th spot, or the 8th spot in the group stages. But either way, it should be an exciting series, and we got to get into pick bans because we're not too far off from the start of map number 1. We still don't know what it is, but Wookie, what we got for bans today?
Well, we got Q1 coming out of G-Men. I'm not sure what BossFight has banned yet. I have not heard back.
I believe it's Suburbia.
Suburbia. It's a classic ban. I always ban that whenever I can. I hate that map.
Yeah, and obviously, with BossFight in the mix, the range is where they excel.
Yes.
Lonely Viper with that sniper is someone you have to be constantly watching out for. And downfall's on the table here. I'm almost guaranteeing we're gonna see it.
It's a good ban for BossFight. Like you said, they're a long range team, and if they're available to do long range, even on a map like Suburbia, people like Viper will do it. He'll bring a 12x scope on Suburbia, so it's probably best that they don't play that map because they want that long range.
Yeah, very true. We don't know where we're headed for map number 1 just yet. We're still waiting on the lobby to kick up here, but again, this is, if you're new to the league or you're just tuning in, this is a fantastic series to be dropping into because I just think you're gonna see some very high level gameplay today. I'd be surprised if you didn't say some interesting or unique sort of maneuvers today. And I mean, heck, maybe these teams just stick to the standard meta that they've come to know and love so much, but we have seen them sort of adapting more and more as the season has gone on.
Yeah, for those that don't know, these are like the top teams playing right now across the pond here in North America and in the UK. So, I mean, this is going to be crazy because the UK teams kind of tend to use their own style of tactics, and then the NA teams have their own style. So it's really great to see 2 different flavors kind of like going at each other of tactics and approaches and defensive layouts. So yes, this is going to be an exciting matchup for sure.
I do have a bit of info coming in. G-Men, also something to enlighten those that may not know. We do map bans and map picks here. G-Men is home team, so they get the first ban. BossFight is away, they get the second. And then G-Men gets to pick the first map, or they get to pick which side they start on. I have information here that G-Men have picked the side, so they are allowing BossFight to choose the map here for map number 1.
Interesting tactic, although, you know, it's something that's been occurring more often as of late. That Volk advantage on map 1 can be a huge, I don't know, I don't want to say clutch or anything, but it could be a strong advantage for certain teams on certain maps.
Yeah, and I guess if you, you know, Volk on downfall, in terms of reducing the sniper advantage there, I don't think it's that hard. I think you just have to stay tucked in, form a tight kill box around objective, and really just never peek. You know, wait for them to push down to you into that last little bit of space around objective, and then take your shots. I think that's going to be the strat.
Yeah, which in theory works, right? Like, you tell your teammates, don't peek, just stay tucked. But of course, everyone their natural instinct is to peek when they hear gunfire, and that's when they get you.
Also, just getting news in here that the map pick for map number 1 is going to be Downfall.
Ooh.
Coming in from BossFight. So that does make sense. I was getting mixed up there again, but yes, G-Men taking side, BossFight taking Downfall for map number 1, and I think we're gonna take a brief intermission. We're gonna get everything set up, and we'll be right back with Downfall round 1, G-Men versus BossFight. Don't go anywhere. Thank you all for patiently waiting for the start of round number 1. We are just moments away from getting into the action, and I do want to take a quick look at the active rosters for today's matchup. Over on BossFight, we have UC Death, Radarhead, Leggle, Scooby-Doo, and Lonely Viper. And over on G-Men, we have The Man, Zach Fontaine, Poopachu, Brass to Mouth, and Keisha. And no unusual suspects here. That's the core 5 for both sides going at it. And, you know, again, this is ranked 2 versus ranked 3 worldwide. A very good preview as to what we should expect in the finals, honestly, because I do anticipate to see these two teams competing for that, you know, championship sort of a round, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the core team members all there means that, you know, all the tactics should be dialed in today. There shouldn't be too many rough patches on approaches, and maybe not too much miscommunication perhaps, but yeah, it's never a for sure thing, right? Especially he's just still kind of a newer pickup for G-Men, but he's been doing extremely well on their team.
Yeah, and he is not a new player. You know, he's just very skilled with the shield. He's been, you know, a threat to the in the league for a good bit now, and you know, he's certainly someone that you got to watch out for on this map. Interesting to see how he'll do, because obviously the shield practically useless on a long range map like this, and so I guess we don't have to wait around much longer. Round 1 about to kick it off as we dive into the action.
You know, I do want to say that the Man does like to use the shield actually on Downfall as a mobile recon unit.
That's
so
true.
We'll see if we see some of that action. But, you know, G-Men being Volk, we won't see that just yet. Ooh, we got a quick spawn. Quickish spawn, not the quick.
Ooh, almost caught the rotation up to the White House. Viper putting shots out. That's information for BossFight to work with. And they may be able to assume the position of this BossFight spawn. And already, look at how fast Radar is pushed up.
My God, he's already nearly on objective. That is some impressive speed. That's why I said quickish spawn, not the quick spawn that people know for lower dumpster, but the upper dumpster, it's still pretty quick.
Now, this is interesting. Suppressive fire getting put out down towards Zach Fontaine's position. He's not in the building that's being suppressed, and he's not going to want to go into that one either. So he's staying.
What a grenade!
Ooh, almost gets Keisha.
Keisha just felt randomly like he should start running away, and he just timed that so perfectly. Oh, Legel with that amazing M203 shot takes out Poopachu in the dark room. That's going to be huge.
I mean, they have such commanding control of objective right now. Look at Radar. Down goes Keisha. Some good shots from Radarhead coming out. And now Zach, a bit concerned. You do see him rotate to the window that has been suppressed religiously throughout this entire series. Some shots coming in from Brass. And I wonder if Zach has spotted Radarhead inside this window here.
Man, if I'm G-Man, I'd be sweating right now because no one is on objective. And BossFight is known for their quick caps.
Look at how close Leggle is. He can just walk right up to it.
Yeah, I think Zach is eyeing it. I think he can see that.
Oh, he can.
Let me turn lasers. Yeah,
yep.
Yeah, he can. And it's tricky now that we don't have smokes for the time being, so got to be very cautious on this approach.
I think what they're waiting for now, with 3 minutes left, is for Viper to maybe find a pick with his sniper. Although, as I say that, you do see some lasers get drawn into Radar, and Viper's sitting back here looking for any angles.
Yeah, I think what they're doing, it could be wrong, but it looks like they are so close to objective, they're like waiting for defensive rotations to come in and crash and trying to pick off those guys. That could be it. Otherwise, yeah, I mean, they have all the time in the world to do this, and they're going to take it.
Aggressive fire coming in. Brass has an angle on to Radar. Shots come out and they miss. Leggle's here on the corner. The man's trying to find it and he can't. Zach doesn't have a clear-cut angle. Brass trying to rotate. And this is going to be a very simple 2 points for BossFight.
Incredible play by BossFight. Great cap, great rotations. That teamwork there was just chef's kiss.
You know, we talk a lot about the shift in meta without smokes or utility being in, you know, the tool belt of these players. And I think one thing that we like to highlight a lot is how the teams have adjusted to that. One thing we do see is actually faster gameplay than when we did with smokes. Teams are stealthily sprinting to locations, under the nose of the enemy without any audio cue. What Smokes usually did was give away positions, what we're starting to find out here, and teams would react off of the audio cues from Smokes. Without those audio cues, without any of that, you don't have that audio to react off of.
I couldn't agree more, man. It is crazy how apparent Smokes are at just exposing your positioning and exposing your movements. And I love having the Smokes banned, to be honest. It just makes it, I don't know, it changes Onward just slightly to be a bit more interesting.
You know, of course, I don't want to cause any panic, but it makes me wonder, like, what if, you know, we did this on a seasonal basis? You know, we banned frag grenades next season and had smokes and flashes, you know, or we banned the AK and force a different sort of meta in the rifle class. Like, you know, of course, I don't want to get that deep into the weeds, but it raises the question, because you take one utility piece out, one element away from a kit, and it just changes the meta so much.
Yeah, don't let the UK teams hear you. They might make their thoughts known in the Discord. No, but I think that'd be really exciting to do some kind of like a, maybe not necessarily like the Button Cup week, but like the fun week. We can just limit certain loadouts or something.
Only SMGs can be something.
Yeah,
something obnoxious. Sure.
I think that'd be really cool.
Round number 2 underway. BossFight on defense, kicking it off the best possible way they could up against a team that is higher ranked than them.
Not going to see any shield play from G-Man today. Or yeah, we are. I missed that. Man, he does have the shield indeed. And they have that northeast spawn, so they have a bit of time to actually set up here. BossFight just had such a massive advantage with that west spawn last round that it's a, you know, no mirrored spawns this time around, so we'll see how G-Man decide to approach this, and they have the long range capability to do it. But without a doubt, although Legel just takes out Poopachu, he's only downed, not confirmed.
Okay, there are 2 questions.
He's catching some suppressive fire into his window too, so it's a risk for him to get this confirmed. Keija puts rounds downrange into the window, and then instantly after doing so gets the revive. He doesn't linger, doesn't wait for the re-peek, and gets the kill. Brass goes down as he tries to cross. And you know, it's interesting to note, the man with his shield is very safe. He has been able to navigate the long-range sniper of Radar Head safely as he moves forward. His teammates not so much, but the man is alive.
I feel I'm nervous for the man. He's in quite a bind right now. I don't think that played out quite the way they wanted it to.
No, I think they were trying to move behind the shield, and unless you're literally right behind him, to have someone manipulate a shield for your teammate is, you know, especially at range.
Guys came to play.
Well, you know, who was it? Brass? Yeah, Brass and the man, and I think one other guy usually work with the man on the shield, and they stick together, and it's just unfortunate for the man that he couldn't protect his teammate there.
Yeah, and you know, you were right when you said the man likes to use this for vision, and I stand corrected on it being effective on downfall. He's certainly drawn attention of 2 defenders for the entirety of this round, which has allowed for some rotations if you look at the overhead.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. BossFight usually know better than to divert 2 defenders to 1 shield. Once the shield's identified, it's like, just leave them be. Focus your efforts other places, because the shield is just gonna block those bullets.
Keija pushing up here. Radar Head, look at this position. He's in the center bungalow there, past the man. He did have an angle down into Keija, and of course, as Radar pulls his angle, Keija pushes down past it. And that's Onward. It happens every single game. As soon as you drop an angle, the player rotates around it.
It's almost like Lady Luck is running around in the background just with an invisible hand, just kind of moving things around.
It is really something. Keija slowly working his way closer to objective, and here is something that, you know, again, pay attention if you're watching. This is important to note if you're a new team. Look at the rotation from BossFight. They invested plenty of time on the shield. They said that's enough. They left it up to Radar Head, who got the kill, and now have dropped back to hold objective. 5 defense strong here.
Man, I'm not liking this approach by Keija. It might pay off. It might pay off. Maybe they're focused on the West Street, but man, this is gonna be tight between Legel and Keija.
There's at least 3 lasers that have been taking eyes over here. Radar Head's been looking in this direction, Legal has, and UC Death. But they also all are holding their angles very tightly still, so Keisha has been able to navigate underneath them so far.
Oh, man, he is just underneath Legel's laser. Radar Head finds Zach, though, so now it's just going to be up to these 2 members of G-Men here to pull this off. BossFight are still 5 up. Oh, Radar Head finds Keisha. Legel with the confirm. Now it's all up to Poopachu. Mew.
Yeah, gonna be a tough one for him. The 1v5, minute 15 on the clock. Just, I don't know. Keisha almost could have proned up to objective. You know, Scooby would have had an Overwatch position down onto it, but he was dodging the lasers like Catherine Zeta-Jones. But you know, it didn't work out for him. And now Poopachu here, the 1v4. He's got 1.
Yeah, that was actually. I was impressed. Keisha was actually making a lot of progress there, and if he had just stayed prone, kept going, he probably would have made it up to the lower dumpster building. Either way, though, I mean, with 5 defenders at the time still up, it's still really hard to make any progress there. I mean, Poopachu did pick up that kill against Radar, but the odds are still heavily in BossFight's favor at the moment. I mean, 4v1 is no joke, especially with 20 seconds left on the clock.
It is a joke at this point. It would be a joke if he managed to get that 1v4 with 20 seconds, but he doesn't. Down he goes to the likes of Legal, and BossFight go up 3-0. I mean, yeah. If you're G-Men right now, there's a little bit of concern, right? You picked side, and it completely failed you. You let them get 2 points off of your side pick the first round. Now you've lost the rebuttal. It's 3-0. You're going to go into the next map. It's going to be BossFight's map pick. Not looking ideal here for G-Men. Granted, the map pool does shrink. And so maybe when we get to the closer quarters, G-Men are going to be able to bring things back a little bit.
Yeah, I've seen G-Men come back from worse. But yes,
True.
They have to keep their mental game sharp. Don't let themselves get too tilted by the circumstances of a round 1 cap and then a Volk round victory. I mean, we're only 2 rounds in the downfall. BossFight already 3 up, right? So you gotta just make sure your mental game is on check. And you know, maybe you accept the loss on this map, move on to map 2, and come back stronger. Definitely seen that happen with G-Men before. They are a great team at not letting a map loss get to them.
Round number 3 underway here. BossFight with a commanding 3-0 lead. And they might have a pretty quick spawn out the gates. See if G-Men are going to be ready for it.
I swear. Let me.
BossFight with that quick E-spawn. Immediately gonna exchange gunfire. A lot of rounds being put down and no one is getting picked off.
I got one. There's one north. Hey, look at me, I'm a Legionnaire. Did I make it?
Looks like Viper is just getting into position over here on the Marsoc South building. Or maybe North. I'm not sure which one he'll end up living inside of, but he's got that 12x scope, and he is going to take some picks at G-Men, try and knock off a few of those defenders. I think Brass to Mouth is the most at risk of getting picked off by Viper. Oh, wow, I didn't even see. We already have Radar Head on lower dumpster with UC Death, and that is going to throw a monkey wrench, I think, into G-Men's defensive layout here.
Suppressive fire coming out there, and that's the real key to no smoke meta is the suppressive fire. We haven't seen tons of teams utilize it just yet, but it's essentially does the job of that smoke if you know where the enemy is, right? You can put rounds downrange into windows, prevent people from peeking, and during that time you have to move. It's honestly, in my opinion, kind of it reinforces what you would have to do with a smoke too, right? What people don't do, they throw smokes and then they sit and wait and let it dissipate. You just don't have that option. Obviously, with suppressive fire, you have to move under it, and I think maybe we'll start to see that sort of shift the mentality when smokes get back into the game.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Ooh, Brass and UC trade. Scooby gets the refrag on Brass. A radar head and the man are just right next to each other inside of this building. Oh, but he misses. The man doesn't realize, I don't think, that he's right there.
Yeah, there's definitely some confusion there. He heard footsteps. Maybe he thought they were outside as Radar just continued to push into the inside of that building. And as he swung outside, he got caught in the back by Legel. That drew his attention, and then Radar was able to swing and pick up that kill. So yeah, just the man being utterly confused around his defensive position there, and ultimately BossFight now into the 4v3.
Yeah, indeed. It's interesting without having the smokes. You know, I love the element of suppressive fire. G-Men have been really good at utilizing that. Sorry, I'm still waking up. And I'm not seeing it utilized too much here on Downfall, but I remember when we were playing them, they were utilizing that covering fire a lot, and it paid off really well, and it works on other maps as well. It's not just like Downfall that it works on, but yeah, the covering fire with the suppression is just, it's huge.
And one thing I got to point out here too is that a lot of teams don't utilize drones, and BossFight honestly are kind of like the drone, I don't know, warrior is the right word, but they consistently use the drone on both sides. They use the Volk drone and they use the Marsoc drone. And I mean, hey, it gets them information that they are clearly working off of. And so Poopachu here gonna try and rotate off. We'll see if Viper's lasered in and ready for it. Ooh, yes he is. Wow, what a shot in the open on the move.
Not looking good for G-Men with one defender remaining against Marsoc's 3 attackers. Slowly moving in like the Kraken around objective, but it doesn't matter because Kija and Scooby will trade. And yes, BossFight, they utilize those drones, and it pays off extremely well on maps like Downfall, apparently.
This is why, I mean, G-Men seem out of their, I don't know if out of their element's the right word, but they seem almost out of their element here up against BossFight. A 4-0 on Downfall. And again, I got to go back and wonder what the decision-making choice was here. Why pick side when you basically know Downfall's coming after that? And you know BossFight's good in Downfall. You know BossFight is going to be exceptionally good here. And to the point that I made earlier, G-Men didn't tuck in. They didn't just hold angles. They spread out on objective. They looked for picks. They played it very risky up against the likes of BossFight.
They really did. We've seen that really spread out defense back on round 1 before from G-Men, and it's come back to haunt them multiple times. So I'm impressed that they're sticking to it. I commend them for trying to make it work, but in certain cases like this, I think you kind of gotta just fall back on a more safer defensive layout. You need to avoid a cap on round 1 as much as you do when you are the enemy team is up 2 points.
Yep.
So you just don't want to, hand over that momentum to the other team if possible.
And we're getting a dose of everything here today. You've got the ranks 2 and 3 worldwide going at it. We just had a nice long range battle. Clearly, a BossFight, the victors there, looking very good, very clean, coordinated, strategies hashed out, suppressive fire, good pushes, fast moves, way faster than I think G-Men were ready for. And they did great on Downfall. Now we go to Cargo. I mean, what are you thinking here? Is BossFight going to play this fast too? What's going to happen here?
Yeah, I mean, I would think maybe G-Men picked this, but it had to be BossFight, right?
No.
Or maybe
BossFight went side.
Yeah, I think BossFight went side as well. They answered back, and so G-Men were like, all right, we'll do Cargo, because, G-Men were notoriously good at Cargo, although, based on the performance we just saw, maybe they also want to just go towards like a small range map, and they want to like close the distance with BossFight as much as they can.
I am just, my brain is struggling to follow up on the logic here, because if you're BossFight, you just took your map Downfall. Why not that? I mean, I guess because all of the maps are short range now. You have Cargo, Subway, that's it, right? You know, Cargo, Subway, Bazaar. Why not pick Bazaar if you're BossFight? They're strong on that map.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's G-Men, right? Because I think BossFight chose side, so G-Men.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Why pick side? Why not take a map that you're good at? You know, if you're BossFight, why bother allowing G-Men to get into a place where they're comfortable? Because you've just completely shut them down on Downfall. Like, keep that uncomfortability going would be my thought.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it just comes down to confidence. I think they're BossFight are so confident on whatever map they play at this point that they have, well, all the marbles at this point. I mean, they just 4-0'd G-Men on map 1. So I think if you're BossFight, you're coming into this pretty confident, and maybe that'll come back to haunt them.
Yeah, and of course, you know, it's just my analysis. I have no stakes in the game either way. It's just kind of looking from the top down and what I know about the teams and trying to figure out the mindset of them. But hey, so far I don't really have any complaints. A really exciting Downfall, pretty quick paced. BossFight playing very well, and if we can continue to have a good series here, if G-Men maybe can come in out the gate guns blazing, we could be in for a very good series here, Wookie.
I can't wait to see what BossFight have up their sleeve. Being the long-range team that they are like, yeah, we'll pick Volk. We can handle anything you throw at us, G-Men, so bring it on.
Interesting way to kick this off, though. The Diamond of Death is the first objective, and we'll see how BossFight defend. It's going to be some quick exchanges, and there is going to be shield play as the man brings it up the middle.
A lot of pre-fire coming out. Doesn't contact anybody, however.
Well, one thing we got to talk about is that you can't throw nades within the first 15 seconds. Flashes within the first 13, and so your only real options are suppressive fire to sort of minimize any movement, and then you see utility and nades come out, and that is what we're seeing here. Plenty of flashbangs coming out through the center, and they look pretty good. Scooby and Red are completely blind.
Now it's just up to G-Men to capitalize on that blindness. They kind of are holding back, though. Viper does take out Keisha with the beautifully placed grenade. Nice mortar strike from Viper. Brass takes out Bolus. Didn't even realize he got swapped in there. Hey, Bolus.
Oh yeah, we have to gotta pay a little closer attention to those rosters, but we'll talk about that after this round. But he has been subbed in. The man inside tunnel does give information to Radar and Lonely, and they are panic reacting off of it, maybe a bit too much. Everyone seemingly dropping back here, and Lonely has taken position. He's gonna challenge the man in the middle. He actually burns himself.
No, you hate to see it, chat. I liked how Brass was ready, though. He was on the other end of the tunnel, just ready for them to confront the man. Brass ready to frag them when they peeked him, but Viper doing the dirty business himself, just kills himself with that Molotov, cutting off access for the man to come out of the tunnel, though.
I mean, hey, you want to talk about a good counter to a shield? The Molotov's certainly a nice piece you can bring to the table. Radar Head's getting a bit over aggressive and dropping off objective, and if he can get behind the tunnel push, it's going to be huge.
Brass hears him, though, and they trade.
Wow, Zach finds one. Look at Leggle. He's way off of objective. The man can push in from the backside and have an easy, simple 2 points here.
How do you even see Leggle?
He's over by Zach Fontaine. He's way over there. He thinks he's in a 1v1. He doesn't have the accurate kill count, is my assumption.
Oh, my Lord. The man is just, if he just picks up the pace, double times it to objective, he is on it. The man is a fast capper. Oh, here we go.
Is Leggle going to rotate in time? No, nope. He's not. Nope. This is going to be a reversal of what we saw. Oh, hey, wait. Nope. Wait. Is he going to?
It's over.
Nope. Doesn't get there in time, and we've got our... I feel like clapping, because this series is going to be quite an interesting one. A sorry from the man as he punches in, too. And are we going to see a 4-0 from G-Men on Cargo?
We might just see them clap back here on Cargo, because that was a really strong push coming out of G-Men. BossFight just, I don't know. I think, 4 of the 5 members had the right idea there. Poor Legel just, I don't know what was going on. I think maybe he thought he had one more up on objective or something.
The only thing I can think of is that he had an incorrect kill count. He knew he had to have known that his teammates were down there, but he really thought he was in the 1v1 against Zach and was dedicated to getting that kill, and ultimately just tunnels in so hard that, I mean, the man had a full 2 minutes to really work his way up, or a minute and a half to work his way up to the backside and get that cap. So just unguarded for quite a long time. That's the only real thing I can think of there. Or, again, he just never checked his pad. I don't know. I didn't really see him look at it, so maybe he never knew.
Yeah, I think he thought he had one more up, and maybe, this will happen, right? You'll check your tablet, and then like a microsecond as you're putting it away later, your one defender up is dead. And so you just checked your tablet, you thought you had a defender up, but they just died as you're putting it away, and you missed that information. So I'm willing to give Legel the benefit of the doubt and just chalk it up to bad timing, maybe on checking the tablet, not enough follow-up checks, especially with a kill count of like 3 or something. You'd think that, okay, I think I'm safe.
Yeah.
But who really knows? I'm sure Scooby is giving him a real pep talk in the tent right now.
And let's talk about that real quick before we fire it up. BossFight have brought in Polis Bill here. We mentioned it in the middle of that last round, but he has been subbed in for that team, and teams have 8-man rosters, and they hold on to players that excel at specific maps. So I'm sure Polis brought in just for this scenario.
I don't know Polis too well to know if he's excellent in cargo or not. It could have just been a case of just get everyone to play.
True as well, or it could have been a connection issue on one of their 5th. Who knows? There's all sorts of varieties of reasons. Really, it just goes to show you should have more than 5 on your roster, because there's tons of reasons that it can come down to where you need a sub.
Absolutely. BossFight coming real slow out of the gate here, just making sure that G-Men don't take any offensive positions. Ooh, that grenade almost found Polis. Nice rotation.
We're getting fairly close. All right, close.
Nothing really happening here in the first minute of the round, which is okay.
Well, I mean, geez, you look at the BossFight position, they're still in their spawn. That's why nothing's happened.
We did see some utility thrown. I think that's what the BossFight members are just waiting for, just G-Men to waste their utility, and then BossFight will push up with all of their utility. Who knows what really is the plan here, but Kija in his typical location there in center right, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with for BossFight.
Anyone crossed?
Legel may have heard Kija, tries to grenade him, doesn't contact him. Kija is still up.
Little shots from Brass down that long alleyway, commonly held lane where there's tons of action on almost every single exchange. Polis Bill also looking for a piece onto Brass, but we got to keep our eyes on the Kija-Legel combo here. It's going to come down to when Legel decides to push and what happens there. Because I think you're right, Legel must have heard that audio pop there from Kija.
Yeah, and I think at this point it's pretty well known that Kija likes to go there. Assuming you've done your homework, even just like an ounce of homework, you would know that Kija likes to go there. It's nothing really new. Oh, but Kija's getting brave, tries to peek. He gets Scooby and Legel. That double kill. Is he gonna get Viper? Oh, he does get Viper. Is he gonna get Radar Head? Oh, he's gonna get Radar Head, and that is it. Wow, Kija on a massive tear. What's that, 4 kills? Yeah, 4 kills in 1 round from Kija. Wow.
And he did it in about 20 seconds. He swung out with the flash, quick peeks the doorway, gets info, comes back out with the pre-fire on that angle and catches 2, and then swings very fast up to the cargo crate, avoiding shots from Viper, who's just a bit too late to peek that angle. And then you get down into the crate, the quick pace corner action that we've seen on maps like this. And Kija picking up 4 huge kills there to push G-Men up 3-0.
Massive play there, expertly done by Kija. I mean, he did everything right there. He did the jiggle peek, came out swinging, got 2 kills.
Unfortunately
for BossFight, they had just lined up for Kija. Scooby was right behind Viper, or Legel, I'm not sure which one it was, and then Viper trying to fight for his life there around the cargo container, but Kija just tactical reloads were on point. Everything was just on point there.
I mean, hey, we are working our way up to the 4-0-4-0 swap here.
Yeah.
And let's just start Theorycraft and Wook. Map 3, if you're G-Men, do you pick side? Do you pick map? I think you pick side, right? Because you have Subway and Bazaar. Or do you pick Subway to just avoid the Bazaar choice? I don't know.
You know, that's such a great question. I think if you're G-Men, you pick the map. Because if you pick sides, BossFight will definitely pick Quarantine.
Quarantine's banned.
Oh, that's right. They banned it. Yeah, so maybe G-Men will pick sides. Because they don't have to worry about Quarantine. So...
And like the one I keep bringing up is Bazaar is still on that table. You know that one I think favors more so BossFight. No, not BossFight, but the flavor of BossFight than Subway does, in my opinion.
Certainly.
You know?
Yeah, I mean G-Man would probably want to do Subway because it's tighter, allows for more shield play. So yeah, that'll be really interesting to see what is decided. I think Subway, if G-Men do pick the map, Subway is the likely contender there. But we might get something new from G-Men on Bazaar, so I don't know. It's such a toss-up, but I'm putting my money on Subway.
Something that isn't new from G-Men is the tunnel push with the shield with the man and Zach Fontaine. Something we've seen here pretty often from this squad as they like to come out of the tunnel with that shield and have the rifle overwatch, and it works out very well for them, holding an angle here, waiting to see if anyone like Lonely or Polis is going to peek it, and then they're going to have to make their advance forward under most likely a heavy barrage of utility.
They just answered back. Brass shot a few rounds in that rhythm, and then Viper answers back with a 2-tap. That's funny.
I said that I thought a lot of utility would come at them, but it's actually coming from them, and Nate nearly catches out the man in Poopachu, goes a bit too far.
No.
There's a good one from Viper. Here's a follow-up, comes out. That's going to confirm him. He was already insta-dead, though, as the nade practically exploded on his chest. But we're into the 4v5. BossFight looking good.
Yeah, indeed. That was a great artillery strike from Viper. Right on to the man. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Nigel takes out Zach. I was just about to comment that the reason Zach and G-Men like to work together is because Zach is also a good backup shield user, but he gets taken out. Brass gets taken out. Poop gets taken out. He just finally downs Radar. He's all alone, and he just got flashed by Scooby, so he's in a really tight bind.
Really nice flank from Radar there to snag a couple of kills on the back end. Almost Keisha-esque there. Almost had the full wipe, but can't quite get this final kill, and Scooby with an odd rotation goes down. Here comes more flashes up to Keisha. That one I think found him. Viper swings off of it and gets the kill, and finally BossFight able to put up a round on the board, and it's not going to be a carbon copy. They're at least going to be able to avoid the sweep.
Yeah, but they do have their work cut out for them now. Going up against Volk is never easy, especially when you hold all the cards, so to speak. 3-1, that's quite a mountain to climb over, but these two teams are more than capable of pulling that kind of odds, I guess. G-Men, all they need to do is stay tucked and not get too peaky. Maybe throw some really great grenades. That's what really made G-Men's offensive push fall apart, was just the grenades from BossFight were just unrelenting, right? It's just grenade after grenade. So we'll see how G-Men answer back there, or BossFight can pick up another point.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta go back and look at the footage, right? BossFight last time on Marsoc played it very slow, and Keisha rolled over them. And I gotta wonder if they're gonna adjust off of that lack of success playing it slow and play it quick here, or if they continue to play it slow, allow Keisha to get pushed up, and who knows what's gonna happen then.
Yeah, we'll see if BossFight take it slow again, right? The thing that kind of haunts you on cargo is if you take it too slowly, that can kind of come back to haunt you if one of the defenders can push up and flank you, and you think you're okay, you think your battle buddy's near you, but that's not a battle buddy, that's an enemy, and use the footsteps. You can hear the footsteps from so far away on cargo sometimes that it's just like, oh, I thought you were my teammate, and it's like, nope, you were just a random Volk flanker coming in to kill everyone. So
And we're going to
BossFight,
keep
though,
our...
taking it slow.
Yeah, I got to keep the attention to split. Brass and Keisha. Keisha's so close to Radar around the corner.
There's that utility, and they confirm it.
Uh-oh, Brass finding a couple of kills as well out his doorway. And now they're suddenly playing offense. The push coming in onto Polisville and Lonely Viper. They're into the 2v5.
They're in such bad shape at the moment. This is not looking good for BossFight, but if G-Men screw up this push, they can lose a couple of their members. Oh, but it doesn't look like they're going to be screwing anything up today. Polisville goes down to Keisha. It's all up to Viper, who's been spotted, but Brass gets the refrag. Just like that, G-Men take it up on that too.
Solid snag from them. Got to take a quick look at KD. 7-2 from Brass, 7-3 from Keisha. Those two putting the team on their back, essentially getting all of the kills, and then getting G-Men 4-1.
You can't discount the man with that round 1 cap either. I mean,
that's true. That's true. He's killless, but he does have a cap.
He serves the utility of the team with that shield. He's not there for kills. He's there to lead the team to victory.
Very true.
Whether it be through communication or through moral support. Who knows? But either way, G-Men take map 2 in a very commanding 4-1, almost a carbon copy, like you pointed out, of map 1.
And I just don't even know what... I just don't even know what to expect out of this map 3. We have the series decider coming down to this next map. I don't know who's picking side, who's picking map, where we're headed. It certainly isn't going to be cargo again, which is what we have right now. So we bear with us as we get some tech issues sorted. And there actually may have been, we might have to cut to an intermission to sort things out here. I don't think it's going to be cargo again. I don't think there was any issues with that last round. I think everything is kosher. And so we are going to just give us a brief intermission while we sort things out. And don't go anywhere, because map number 3, the series decider, is going to be right up. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for patiently waiting while we sort out the tech difficulties. We are now here on to map number 3, which is Subway, as we so accurately foretold. And it is picked by the likes of G-Men, so they have not opted for side. They have instead decided to pick this map, and we'll be going on the offensive to kick things off. You can also take a quick look at active rosters, and we do have the swap back to UC Death on BossFight's end. Again, you know, kind of a good point to kind of bring up. Now, it's important to have more than just 5 on your roster. Who knows why you'll need the 6th, 7th, or 8th. But in cases like this, UC Death may be excelling on this map in particular versus Cargo. You can bring in an expert depending on what map you're getting up against. And I don't know what to expect here on this final. We had 4-0 on map 1 going in the favor of BossFight, 4-1 on map 2. And we were talking offline, Wookie. Downfall's long range, Cargo's short, Subway a little bit in between.
A little bit of everything, right? Mixed in with some night vision goggles. So, you know, that will affect loadouts. So, yeah, I mean, this is going to be like a really interesting map 3 series decider here between these two teams that have proven themselves just... they're ready for whatever each team is going to bring them, right? I think that, you know, the scoreline looks like a bit of a blowout, but that was only because of those round 1 caps on both teams in round 1. So coming back from a round 1 cap is an overwhelming amount of momentum to stop, right? And so fresh start here, clean slate, 0-0 from both teams. I think both teams, I think BossFight is very aware that if they get capped on in this round 1, that it's pretty much game over, but can't count them out just yet.
And again, I don't know if you heard the comms there as we hopped into the beginning of round 1, but it's important if you're a new team to take notes when you're watching these, and note there that BossFight confirmed. Everyone was in the lobby, everyone was able to be heard on comms. If they weren't, they would do a quick reset, which is allowed in a competitive game mode. You can reset the round and no consequence, no round loss, no swap sides. You go right back into the start of that round and can get things sorted before you get back into the game. And so, you know, fun fact, a little note for any new players out there that there is it's good to make sure everyone's locked and ready to go at the start of every round.
It's interesting that I'm fascinated by this push in the south with the man and Zach. They're not going to find any resistance, but they're doing everything right in the circumstance that they did find resistance. However, Lonely Viper is over here in that tunnel. He's not going to risk being too pushed out, right? He's going to let them come to him. Hopefully their backs will be turned to him and he can maybe get a couple kills, especially because of that shield. You want to get the flank on the shield. So it'll be interesting. I'm going to keep my eye on this south push and see how that plays out.
Yeah, and we're going to have to split the attention across the board here because of this push G-Men are working with. Brass to Mouth slowly negotiating the underground here, trying to get close to Scooby-Doo. They'll be engaging with him soon enough. And where else is the push coming from? Poopachu from up top. Nothing coming in from the north.
Maybe Keija. I see him all by himself.
Sure.
Not quite sure where.
He could easily come up the stairs and be a threat. What?
Oh, no. Well, at least he's only downed.
Primed nade in the man's hand. I saw him pull the pin earlier, and something must have happened with the toss. Didn't quite go where he wanted it to, and ends up killing him.
Tosses have been pretty odd lately. I'll contend to that.
Whoa!
Oh, no! Too much time spent on those south tunnels, stairs, and Radar with that beautiful flank catches both the man and Zach Fontaine.
UC Death finds one. The push coming in from Keija on the underground. He picks up Scooby-Doo, and Legel trying to react accordingly. Keija seemingly ready for it. Almost pre-fires off of the audio cues there. And suddenly the underground defense is terribly weak. It's only UC Death, and Viper and Radar have to rotate.
Oh, man. Let's see if UC Death is ready for this. Viper's coming in.
These are the two killers. Brass and Keisha, the two guys that put up the most kills last round. You do not want these two to be the two you're fighting alive here. It's going to not be easy, and Brass and Keisha are playing this one quick and aggressive. Down goes UC Death. Keisha able to find the shots off the back end. We're into a 1v2. Radar trying to flank. He goes down. It's a 1v1.
Wow. Wow. Too much aggression there, unfortunately. Brass walking in front of Keisha's line of fire. So Keisha takes out Brass, an unfortunate team kill accident. But now, if it's going to come down between Keisha and Viper, I kind of want to think Keisha's got this. Keisha in an awkward location, though. Viper has all the cards. He can rotate around. He can do whatever he wants. Keisha's kind of stuck there. Maybe low on ammo as well. Yeah, he's out of ammo.
He's got to be on his last mag now with that rifle. He's picked up another one just to put rounds down range, and a minute 20 left. I do wonder what Keisha's plan is. I wonder what Viper's plan is, and I think it's going to be to sit here and wait for the inevitable cross.
Keisha, you know, it's good that he's working this out in his brain, but he shouldn't be saying it out loud because Viper can hear him.
Did he, though? Viper not reacting off of those comms. Should have been expecting this rotation. Just dips down the stairs in time. Here comes a flash. Doesn't get Viper. He's able to still see. He's waiting for Keisha. Is he able to see? Maybe it did get Viper. It did.
Oh, my Lord. Amazing play coming out of G-Men from Keisha, the man himself. After that last round on Cargo, I think that's not really that surprising. But, I mean... To do everything right there is something that not a lot of players can do. I mean, Keisha is just on fire lately.
Yeah, certainly a impressive bout there from Keisha. Radar, almost the perfect moves there coming in from Keisha there. I mean, I guess it was perfect, right? He did an excellent flash on the stairs, rotated around behind him. I don't know why Viper didn't react off those audio comms, because he should have heard the footsteps in the voice underneath him moving, right?
Yeah, he should. That's why I was saying, like, I'm surprised Viper didn't hear that, because that basement tunnel basically goes right under the stairs, more or less. So yeah, that was...
The unfortunate reality is there is bugs in the game still, and it very well could have been an audio bug, something like that. You know, we don't highlight those necessarily here in the cast, but you know, if you're familiar with them, that could have been potentially something that happened there. Maybe he just didn't hear anything at all underneath him, and
yeah,
you know, who knows really. But the reality is when you're on an online, when you're playing in an online league, sometimes you just have to play through some of this stuff, and we try and put rules around it, but we can't affect if a bug happens in a game. You know,
we don't have their knowledge of the situation.
True.
Right? Like, as spectators, it's really hard to know just exactly what's going through their minds, and you know, I think Viper,
know what? He might have heard those. He might have heard those footsteps and thought that he was inside the basement still.
Yeah,
he might have thought that he was tucking into the corner here. I'll go to my cam. He might have thought that maybe the enemy was tucking into the corner here because he was still diligently holding the stairwell angle.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's kind of like wonky too on those stairs. Like if you go beyond a certain point, things sound like they're underwater and some odd things happen. But yeah, I mean, it's a great attempt from Viper to keep it held down. But yeah, I don't think anyone was expecting that Keisha flank. Not even me, and I'm watching him. So,
and to your point. To the flanks point, though, I mean, some great ones coming in from Radar, too, to get the double onto the south there.
I like this version of Radar. He's not usually this aggressive, from what I've seen. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm loving the aggression from Radar today. It's just really paid off, like, every time he's done it. That just goes to show that you got to know when to be aggressive, right? That technical aggression that Theta was talking about in his video the other day that just came out. Radar is just exhibit A of that technical aggression. Same with Keisha. I mean, once you gain enough map knowledge and you understand the knowledge of your surroundings, like audio cues, how many teammates are left. Like we saw Keisha going through his working it out with his, and you know, in that tunnel, he's like 3, 4, maybe 5 kills. You know. working it out and figuring out what he was going to be going up against before he came out of the tunnels. I mean, stuff like that is just great to see.
Only Viper slowly inching his way up the catwalk here. Brass seems to have heard it. A good flash comes out. The flashlight from the pistol seems to be distracting Brass enough. Somehow Scooby doesn't react off of this. Brass gets the kill, and Scooby hasn't peeked up yet to find the refrag. And now a shield's in Brass's hands. What is happening?
I think flashes. Oh, there it is. Scooby with the refrag. Legel coming up. Hopefully there isn't a team kill. Okay, I think we're good here.
Oh, I don't know. Not quite yet. Scooby's still putting rounds onto the corner.
Oh, no. Okay, I think they're good. Yep.
Jeez Louise.
That was close.
A reminder, you don't see name tags, you don't see nameplates, you don't see team, that blue outline around your teammate is just jersey colors, and when you're in the dark, it's almost impossible to identify, so that was a lot closer than maybe it appeared to those on screen, but nearly a team kill. BossFight still in the 4v4.
That shield with the flashlight combo and that very dark corridor just paid off exceptionally well. I mean, it definitely made I don't remember the defender's name, but made them work for that kill. And then Scooby just to barely skate by behind, taking cover behind that garbage can on the corner. Just, you know, that was really close. Scooby almost getting taken out there, but hey, he's still alive.
Slowly working their way up to that basement objective, and a bit of a stark contrast in defensive setup here, right? BossFight invested a few into the upper stairs. Here we see all 4 left alive under the down on the underground by objective.
I'm a little concerned though, because they only have 90 seconds to figure this out, and we still have 4 members of G-Man up.
And they have some interesting positions to contest. You know, the man's tucked in here. He's not going to be exactly easy to grab. They have Zach Fontaine watching the stairwell. They're going to need some well-placed utility to sort of root out these defensive positions.
Right, and without smokes on this objective, it's going to be really hard. This is probably one of the most difficult objectives on Subway to actually approach without smokes.
And let's take a quick look at these defensive setups, too. They are all capable of quickly ducking a flash. I think that's something that maybe isn't necessarily outlined a lot. Zach gets flashed there, doesn't duck that one, so he's completely blind. He's out of the equation. Here comes a couple of more. A nade actually gets one. Poopachu somehow still alive, tucked into the corner. He's going to throw a flash out, not in time. Down he goes. Rounds flying towards Scooby. He gets picked up. Yeah, Ludgel's pad out.
Oh.
What?
Oh,
Oh my god.
oh man, they're going to feel that in the morning.
I was so caught up in the push.
Yeah, Legel just snuck by. That was just such incredible push by Legel while his teammates were engaged with the other defenders. I mean, that was like textbook. People take notes.
It's exactly what they wanted to do. They had the shield and the flashes and the nades push out the 2 on that corner. They know that the way that underground is shaped, that there's that little triangle piece that jets out around the objective that they have the other 2 set up on. So if you can tuck themselves in around that triangle piece, you can still be on objective and deny vision from essentially that half of the map. And so once they lost those 2 on that side, there just wasn't, the defensive setup wasn't there. You know, I said that the man's position way over at the tunnel was going to be pretty dangerous to if they didn't clear it, but ultimately it's what cost them because he was so far away.
Yeah, that triangle piece that you pointed out is really like a double-bladed sword. Like on the one hand, you can spread out your defense and just focus on 2 different angles. On the other hand, if one of your angles goes down, you have no vision to go support the objective. You have to physically run towards it, and that's just enough time for someone like Legel to sneak in and get a cap.
Very, very savvy move there from BossFight, and you can tell G-Men not happy with that at the groans of displeasure at the end of that round. And now that we're taking the full minute and a half, clearly both teams trying to hash out a strat.
And again, you know, if there were smokes, the whole G-Men team would be diverted towards that objective, but because there weren't any smokes, to really cue things. There was just flashbangs and bullets flying. So that could be happening pretty much anywhere on the map.
3502A.
So again, oh, we
Reset?
are getting a reset from BossFight. So again, you know, it's I still don't think smokes are needed in the league for just that exact reason. Because I mean, when smokes do come back, I think we won't see very many teams using it because I think a lot of them like the the stealth that lack of smokes brings. Like the approaches are more easily to stealth up on.
It's interesting to watch, you know. What's more interesting is to see that these teams are aware of this. You know, this is not new to them. They have very much realized that smokes have been giving away positions and have devised strategies to work accordingly off of that new bit of knowledge that they can kind of do things stealthily. So, you know, again, exciting times to tune in to Onward, and here we are for round number 4. Excuse me, 3. I can't do math. I completely forgot there was just a cap. I cast a lot of games. Okay, all the rounds end up blurring together. I can't even remember a cap that just happened.
Northbound.
Oh man, if you're a G-man, you're not happy right now, but you cannot let that phase you. As Poopachu takes out Viper, got a little aggressive on that push here. Keija and Radar going at it. Radar who wins that confrontation. Brass to mouth, trying to follow up. Doesn't quite make it in time. Radar gonna fall back a little bit.
I'm down over here. I need a revive.
Oh, he's baiting it with some clever mind games here.
What?
Oh, it works.
Who's got their? You better have. We've told you to take notes. You better have your notepad out already, because that right there is a high-level play. Poopachu's gonna swing off of that flash. He gets one. BossFight suddenly down to just 2 defenders, Scooby-Doo and UC Death.
That was incredible play. If you're a defender,
I mean, come on, dude.
Pushed out, and you know you're thinking, oh, I have the advantage. He's down. I'm gonna get him. That just fell perfectly into Brass and Mouse plans, and you know that's the kind of stuff you see from these top level teams going at it.
We've heard the fake death call, you know, where you and you try and fake that you're down. That is certainly along that line there, but I think even more effective because that sounded authentic.
Another slug grenade.
Yep, I saw
happened.
that.
Oh no, Brass is almost. Oh, Brass. From my angle, the laser was like literally within an inch of finding Brass's back.
Scooby throws a perfectly timed flash, gets Brass, gains information, and quick peeks Poopachu. Tries to rotate to cover this shield push, but can't. Zach Fontaine goes down, and you see Death able to turn this one into a 1v2.
He's got a grenade. Oh, it's not going to land quite right. Oh, still takes out the man, however. Wow.
Does, but not before Brass can find that kill, and G-Men answering back with a very solid push and some veteran plays to tie things up 2-2.
Yeah, and such a beautiful textbook mind games play from Brass against Radar. That was definitely a great highlight of this series. Yeah, I can't believe that the G-Men have opted to use a shield so much just because shields are broken at the moment in terms of protecting you against grenades.
Well,
they don't protect you at all from grenades right now, whether you're
look, let's dive into the mind games of it all, Wookie, because they're picking the shield, seeing that suppressive fire's king, that flashes are definitely good, and not a ton of teams are going heavy on the nades. Yes, it's obviously the only other utility option, but flashbangs do seem to be king. And, you know, the shield here has paid off for this G-Men team way more than it's been ineffective.
That's true. And a lot of teams are opting to go with the whole body armor with double flashes.
Correct.
Because, you know, you can either do grenades or body armor, and most of the time people rather do body armor.
Yep. Yeah.
So yeah, definitely less frag grenade utility being used. Opting for that body armor and double flash meta instead. But yeah, you know, it's unfortunate that grenades are still taking out shields if they're facing it or not. Oh, another round reset comes out. I wonder what's going on with BossFight.
I know. Some sort of not being readied up as a team going on there. We got some information we can work with, though. You know, there.
Yeah.
BossFight did spawn close north.
Mm-hmm. They got that quick north spawn.
So they could be right up into the face of this defense if they so choose to charge up those north stairs. I don't know if I'd recommend it. I think that north alleyway is probably the worst alleyway to push this objective in.
As do I. It's a really, really tight corridor. It's basically a giant kill zone, a really long kill zone. I hate it. So yeah, it'll be interesting though to see how BossFight approach this. I have a feeling they're just gonna say meh and run south or something.
They might go full underground.
They might, yeah, they could.
North
I wonder if G-Men are gonna put a guy there. It looks like Zach is not quite. Well, we'll see. If Zach can get over there and... Oh, yeah.
Nothing south, nothing.
Zach, I mean, he's a bit extended, so if he gets caught off guard, it may not be good. But wow, look at this push from G-Men. No one on objective right now. Everyone's just spread out, and I kind of like it, actually.
Yeah, it's an early defensive setup, and we've seen both of these teams rotate well when it comes time to their defense. So this could be phase one, where they set up, look for the north, look for that north push. They have Poopachu kind of waiting to hear if he hears anything down that main alleyway, down that upstairs catwalk, and they've pushed out far enough to deny entry down the north stairs. So they're really just catching out entry points before they can even, get to them. At least that seems to be the defensive setup. And I still think the weak points are going to be the underground entry from Lonely and Radar and that entry up through the new catwalk.
Impressively, BossFight seemed to be ready for this. I mean, we kind of have, UC Death over here, prone, on horseshoe, making sure there's no defenders coming downstairs. Meanwhile, we have a push from Lonely Viper and Radar out of the tunnel. So they're going to go head-to-head against Zach pretty soon. I'm like flying over there with my camera because I can't just fly over the head of the map.
No, we're right over the shoulder of Zach too, and he's got a nice little angle here because Viper with the shield. Does he have a shield in hand? I'm not actually starting to use.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, so with shield in hand, if he doesn't carefully round this and have the shield directed in Zach's direction, Zach could find the back or a little exposed side of Viper here. Obviously, if you're a shield user, you got to be ready for this sort of thing, and you can see Viper is slowly panning his shield around as he rotates out.
Yeah, BossFight are more than willing to kill some time here. It looks they seem to be ready for a pushed out G-Men defense. Legel finally making up the stairs. Less than 3 minutes left on the map. Zach does find Radar. Takes out Viper. They trade.
Another one's like a 2 down. Shield's down over here.
So that push from BossFight is done. Viper just sighs. He's
oh. Brass almost confirmed Zach there. Oh, never mind. The bodies were in a different space, server side than they were press and spectate. Just fine, no worries. Zach A-okay on the res. What would have been the real killer is if Legel had pushed up earlier and was watching this rotation. He could have caught out Brass and Kita.
Yeah, members of BossFight just kind of not fully staying in sync with one another, which is very hard to do. I mean, I don't want anyone to think I'm like criticizing BossFight. It's very, very difficult to stay in sync with your team who is spread across the map. And that said, I do think Legel took a little too long to come up those south stairs. He was waiting for a flanker from G-Men, but G-Men are just solidified in their defensive structure. They are not roaming or flanking. So BossFight ready for anything, but that will come back to haunt them.
Quick shout out while we have a pause here to everyone that is tuning in. We've got a pretty big crowd that's hanging out on the Sunday afternoon battle that we have here, the final Button Cup matchup. We do appreciate you, and if you are new, hit that follow button. We do cast here regularly on this channel as well as Onward Master League 2 and 3, and also VR Master League on Twitch. You don't want to follow all of it because there is VR esports coming out all over the place from the VRML, and I know you guys got to get your esports fix in, so be sure to hit the follow button and always tune in to that good action that we put out here on these channels. We're about to get a little action, speaking of Poopachu and Scooby getting close.
Yeah, we also have Legel back up. As for Scooby, he's a little spread out though, so he can't get a refrag if Scooby goes down, but that will be some knowledge. Oh, Scooby knows he's there. Flashes poop. Oh, maybe he doesn't know he's there. Oh yeah, he flashes him again, so he can't move out of that. The coordination between Death and Scooby here. Scooby going in to get that kill against Poop. Ooh, Keija refrag. Scooby, however, all comes down to this last 30 seconds. BossFight have to be firing on all cylinders and in perfect coordination here, but it's not working out. Sadly, Legel all alone here against 3 members of G-Men.
Perfectly flashes Keija. Keija somehow able to rotate around the corner, though, stays safe. 12 seconds left. Keija swings wide. G-Men get the final kill, and with 3 left up, would have taken that round either way. But, I mean, a wild round there down to the last few seconds.
Yeah, you know, people may be wondering, like, what was BossFight doing, taking all that time to set up? But they have proven themselves very capable of slowly setting up, and then everyone at the snap of a finger kind of going in together and assaulting from multiple directions. It just kind of seems to have fallen apart there, just because they got shut down on that tunnel push out of the basement. This might go to 3-3 decider right here. I don't know. It's really close.
Yeah, I know. It's continued to deliver as an exciting series to tune into. And yeah, we're going to go new objective. Oh, geez. This is going to be a heck of a way to end this series.
Yeah, G-Men are primed to take this. If they play their cards right, get that north push locked in early on. I mean, this is going to be a bit of an uphill battle for BossFight because this is just such a tricky objective to defend. Yeah,
you know, I'm almost 50-50 on my feelings on it. I don't know if it's hard to defend or attack quite yet. It depends on how the defensive sets up, you know, what sort of positions they take that'll make it tough or not. But this north objective is just always so volatile and wild to watch.
With the amount of shield play I've seen come from both teams today, this is going to come down to teamwork and suppression, because we need to get the shield up on the edge of that corner so he can cap, meanwhile suppressing any remaining defenders that might be, you know, behind a soda machine off down the hallway or what have you. So this is really going to boil down to, I think, a combination of that suppression, teamwork, and shield play.
I just heard Viper call out he's doing the flashover, so we're going to be on board this defense because they're going to go for that early aggression down the main lane. And it does look like G-Men are applying pressure heavily on this side, so let's see what happens.
Flash doesn't find anyone, just kind of stalls the push from G-Men. Oh, they're sending the drone.
The Volk
nice. Drone? Yeah, Volk drone right on camera 2. That's going to be huge. I love to see BossFight utilizing that drone. I mean, that is something that I've been wanting to see ever since it was first introduced.
Yeah, he's got perfect vision there onto this entry point, unless it gets grenaded. So if the man tosses a nade up and over and it lands on that piece of utility, I'm assuming that the drone will blow up.
Yeah, it will. 100% it will. And, you know, if... Oh, there we go. Oh, it's a flash, however. So, yeah, I mean, it's really just a matter of not spending too much time on this push. If you're G-Men, you got to be, you know, smart and maybe do a tactical withdrawal and reposition, especially with BossFight. I mean, they have 4 defenders basically on the stairwell right here. So,
you know,
that's a lot.
Yeah, I say you got to, you know, when we talk about the defense here, you have to set up heavily on this side because you have to be able, obviously, to prevent the cap around the corner. The hardest way to attack this objective is from the south. To come in from the south on this OBJ is not easy, and the callouts come in from Viper. They know they're here. Oh my goodness.
Nice medical revive there from Brass. Oh no, back up. Radar Head gets Viper up. Radar Head does down the man with that grenade. Brass just walks right up the Viper, takes him out, takes out Radar Head. Just like that, Brass is just melting this defense. Now it comes down to UC Death And just 2 members of BossFight remaining. I cannot believe that BossFight dropped the ball there so massively.
You know, you
They
have
had the drone up and everything.
Yeah, you have to have follow-up off those nades too. And what we didn't see was you know, radar peeking up after that nade and just spraying down. Oftentimes you see that. Once the nade finds success, the spray comes in to confirm any sort of downs, and it didn't come out. Everyone was rezzed. Ultimately, the next nade comes in, does get a kill, but it could have been, if they had thrown that nade earlier, you know, imagine that second nade coming in when they were going in for the res. It's his BossFight's round.
Yeah, Scooby and Keija now dueling here. I hate dueling Keija because he is so good. Oh, but he walks right into Scooby's line of fire. Easy victory for Scooby.
Seems safe here at the minute.
They are hanging on to this one, that is for sure. 2-2. UC Death nearly catches some bullets to the shoulder, and now he's fully suppressed in his corner, so I wonder what the plan is here with 1:30 left from G-Men. Maybe just suppress UC Death and push forward? I don't know what they're going to do.
I think they're going to do exactly that, utilizing that shield that was on the man now. Pupachu holding the shield, moving in. Gonna throw some utility, it looks like. Oh. If I was Pupachu, I would try and cover your teammate a little bit better, but he's got a grenade. It looks good. UC Death has to rotate out of that. Oh, it doesn't get him, though.
Is that going to push fast enough? Is he going to get the res? There's the res. Where's the cap? Where's the res? Scooby's pushing fast enough.
He's out of...
Pads out. That's too late. Scooby hangs on to this one. Just barely.
So close. But here we go.
I mean, geez.
3-3.
This series, man, that came down to the 1v1, the pad out. Oh man, the series decider, the round, the next round is just button cup delivering here. And again, this is basically a preview of what we're gonna see when we get to the finals. So if you, I'm excited. If this is what we get when we come around to championship gameplay time, I'd be perfectly content.
Yeah, you know, it's too bad Zach had no more syringes to revive because he like they had done so many revives early on.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Minute, so he did everything right. I mean, he went for the revive, realized he doesn't have the utility to do so, tries to go for the cap, but Scooby was already on him. I guess he just didn't hear the footsteps. I'm not sure what happened there, but you know, frantic. You can get pretty frantic in the moment, and those things just seem to disappear into the ether. Like you're so razor focused, you don't hear the footsteps, right? You're trying to cap or something. So
yeah,
it's always so hard to know what to do in the moment. But of course, you know, caster vision is 2020. We could see everything. So it's hard when you're the only guy up and you only have seconds to do the code.
Hey, guy or girl. Okay, we got plenty of female players in the league these days.
That's very true.
But either way, it is a fantastic series that we've been tuning in here today. I'm super happy that we've been able to deliver this one to you guys back home on Twitch. And again, if you are enjoying it, hit that follow button. We're about to dive into round number 7 of map number 3, the series decider. Can't get any closer than this, Wook.
It's round 5, I think. But
oh, is it? Math.
Because of that cap earlier.
6. It would be 6 then.
Oh, 6? Okay.
Yeah, and look, neither of us can do stuff well over here. Okay, it's tough.
I can't even do math when the spotlight isn't on me, so who knows what's the actual round is.
Oh, look at this aggressive defense push up. A flash comes out right away, does deny Keija and the man from charging too quick on the corner, but look at how passive this BossFight offense is right now.
Yeah, I like this G-Men layout.
That's good.
Better than what BossFight was doing, just because of that, you know, those circumstances. If one guy pierces through your defense and can take out 3 guys, there's something wrong with what you did.
Yeah.
But G-Men, because of how spread out they are, they don't have to worry about losing 3 members all in one sector. So we got, you know, Keija here on point, basically covering the north approach. So then we got, you know, the man supporting him, backing him up. And worst case scenario, we have Zach at the end of the hallway here by the soda machine. This is very, I would say, kind of standard defensive layout for this objective.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I do want to highlight the BossFight plan of approach as well. What they have done here is set up UC Death on suppressive fire down the main lane. Scooby sitting on the back end, watching for a potential flank. And Lego and Lonely pushing in through the center. And I'll say this almost every game because it's true. The team attacks against their own style, right? So here, BossFight are watching for a flank because Radar has been flanking the enemy today. He's been diving in behind the offense while they're on defense. And so while BossFight is on offense, they are concerned about a flank, but it's not coming in from G-Men.
Yep, those mind games coming into play here. They're looking for that flanker to ruin their day, but G-Men aren't bothering with a flanker. There's too much on the line at this point. So they are all playing defense here. We're roughly 50% through the round here. All members of both teams still up.
You have the suppressive fire coming onto the corner. It prevents Keisha from doing anything. Radar, meanwhile, pushing forward. A good nade on both ends. A couple of flashes. The frag there doesn't catch Keisha out, and Viper is not going to move fast enough to get anybody blind here. So what is gained is control of this corner. Keisha has dropped off it, but it ends in a trade. Lego goes down. The man tries to peek up and get the confirm. He doesn't. Viper can get this res, and suddenly G-Men not so looking so good on objective.
Ooh, Poop gets Radar with a nice grenade. I was not there to see that, but I heard the grenade. I saw the kill feed. Words, am I right? But yeah, I mean, it does even things up a bit. The south approach is maybe a little too defensive heavy right now. Maybe they should dedicate a guy back here for the north, but every rotation is dangerous. You might get picked off in a rotation. So you kind of don't want to spend too much time rotating, although Poopachu clearing his sector. Maybe they will decide to just go support their brothers in the north as they are defending that pre-fire. They hear all the pre-fire. I mean, BossFight are fully invested in this north push.
Yeah, they got to make this decision soon, too, especially now that one's gone. Viper's pushing down with the shield, and Zach's getting suppressed in the corner. They desperately need Poopachu and Brass to reinforce, and they are slowly doing that. Down goes Zach. Objective is open. The rotation's coming in, and now things get tough if you're G-Men. Well, must have utility.
Oh, he kind of flubs it. Oh, but he does enough damage to do that. Oh, wow.
It ends in a trade. Scooby still left alive up on the north top end, and what was a solid rotation in the last-ditch effort from G-Men ends in a round loss and ultimately a series loss. A tough pill to swallow for sure if you're G-Men.
Yeah, that is rough. I mean, it was so hard to tell how it would end up with the blowouts that they were on maps 1 and 2. It was really hard to know what the end result would be here, but I mean 3 and 4, you couldn't ask for more, right? Because these teams both fought tooth and nail for the victory here, but BossFight came out on top here. Both teams playing so well. I mean,
yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, BossFight played really fantastic to get this W. In the same vein, G-Men putting up an excellent bit of back and forth there. To be able to answer back off of that 4-0 loss is certainly impressive. And then, I mean, from both teams to bring it down to 3-3 here on Subway, just a absolute banger of a series to tune into to wrap up the Button Cup. I couldn't be happier with both teams' performances today.
Neither could I. They both played so well. So many textbook plays. I hope a lot of new teams are taking notes because there were some great performances today.
Absolutely.
And yeah.
A lot to learn. And again, a shout out to all those folks that are tuning in, new or old. We do appreciate you stopping by and catching these games. Obviously, again, hit the follow button if you haven't already. Quick shout out to all of our sponsors. They are many and they are numerous, and they continue to grow in number. I don't anticipate that slowing down anytime soon. Pro2 VR, VR Cover, B Haptics, Rebuff Reality, Cyber Shoes, Arma, VR Wear, Asterion, and Fix Gaming, all coming in together to provide sponsorship for the league. On top of that, a good amount of cash prize on the line here for these teams that are competing at the high level. So this match really meant a lot to both of these squads because they want to be in the top 6. If you're in the top 6, or maybe top 7, you go to you're guaranteed a position into the closed qualifier. If you do not get into that top 7 position, then you have to battle for a chance to get into the closed qualifier with every single team that ends up entering. So it's certainly a tall order if you can't get into that top 7. And either way, I don't anticipate either one of these teams dropping out of that top 7. Honestly, I think we're going to see these two in that closed qualifier.
Yeah, we still have a couple of weeks here to make up for that. So assuming Mayhem doesn't fight G-Man yet again. I suspect that G-Men will hold on to at least their top 7 ranking.
Right.
Both teams, like you said, will probably. I mean, BossFight certainly, but yeah, we'll see how the wild card plays out.
It's not far out, man. It is not far out. We are just a couple weeks away, and I think coming in on the. Sorry about that. I got the live stream getting brought in here while I'm trying to look at the schedule. Can't turn it off, so we're just going to have to go back. I think it starts on the 5th of December. It does, yeah. That's the semis, and then 12th and 13th are the finals. So you're going to want to tune in for those, and we're going to stop talking here on the desk. A fantastic series to tune into, Wookie. I'm happy we dropped by it, but it's going to be it from us here on the desk. My name has been NightFiree with 2 E's. My co-caster Wookie with just 1. We thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week with more VRML action.